The second possible scenario is that India and China do not get along. That is perhaps much more dangerous for the world than if they did, but we don't know that yet. They're both powers that have access to nuclear weapons. In India, of course, this is still not so totally clear, but in China we know. In India, I think the ambition is there to develop a nuclear strike power, and of course the excuse for developing it is Pakistan, but that's not where they're going to be used, because you see, that's after all a very small country, and you need perhaps a handbag full of nuclear material to take care of Pakistan. But the real danger for India, if it perceives it as a danger, is China. And so these three things together, it seems to me, at the moment, make it very difficult to predict where we're going to be a generation later. And but they are also the three areas where I think all our political energy and all our political talent should go to ponder, to think about, to do something about, and to begin finally really to take measures that are significant, because the time is running out. And you know, in previous centuries, people have always felt like we do today, namely things are bad, you know, the world is coming to an end and all that. But as I said earlier, the first time, now we know scientifically that this is a very, very likely scenario. We also know what to do. No problem, you know, we know. But we haven't done it yet. And if we are divided on the issue, we're not going to do it. And that is going to come down on us with a revenge. Well, first of all, you know, your question already indicates that you don't have a word for this in English. You know, and you have, the world has in the past borrowed from German, and usually the borrowings have been in the area of the military, Panzer, you know, and I begin with the word Weltanschauung. That is easier and perhaps more appropriate at the moment. The term Weltanschauung means the way you view the world. And I think that is easy enough. Your first question went in that direction, and I told you how I view the current world. The reason I come back to that term and deal with it before I deal with the second one is the following, because we are experiencing at the moment a very dangerous trend in at least some parts of the world, not, thank God, in all parts of the world, but in some parts of the world, and this is what I call fundamentalism. The fundamentalism which in a sense makes intercultural communication impossible and replaces destructive violence for dialogue is at the moment practiced by those whose Weltanschauung is precisely not based on ever having seen the world. And that, it seems to me, is a tremendous danger. Globalization brings about mobility. Our societies in the West, and of course societies in the East, in Asia as well, have fastly become hybrid societies. That is to say, people from different parts of the world with their different Weltanschauungen have come together, and there have been clashes, yes, but in general, no. In general, it has worked quite well. They have, they have enriched the societies in which they have met together, and therefore, the opposite movement which we are seeing right now is one in which those who do not and cannot participate in the mobility, in the hybridity, and do not want to, will use destructive, even self-destructive means in order to make the peaceful coexistence of many cultures impossible. And that, it seems to me, is very, 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 very complicated. And it is not adequately described when you do that the way my colleague at Harvard University, Samuel Huntington, did when he said, we are experiencing a clash of civilizations. No, we're not experiencing a clash of civilizations. We're experiencing the clash of two movements. The term Zeitgeist is a typical example of a German metaphysical language. Because it presupposes that there is a Geist, that is to say, something spiritual, which is characteristic of a particular time, and it also presupposes that one can know it. And your question presupposes both. The idealist philosophers, like Hegel, believed that it was the Weltgeist, a kind of a world spirit that was driving history forward, and that at each particular moment in time, that world spirit would manifest itself as a time spirit, a Zeitgeist. The materialist philosophers such as Karl Marx do not believe that that is the case, and I come from the area in Germany where the other bearded fellow was born, and I feel myself close to him, and I do not believe that there is such a thing as a Zeitgeist. But I believe that other forces drive history forward. I also believe that one can no longer believe that one knows where the process is going. I think that the idea of a clearly defined end of history, in the double sense of the English word end, what is the end of history? I think one can no longer really honestly say that one knows that, even if one is a convinced and unreformed Marxist.